We're here today to discuss X, the new A24 horror movie, or as I like to call it, the movie that was a better requel to Texas Chainsaw Massacre than Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022.
It's coffee time!
Hi guys, I'm Kasha, welcome to the channel, and today we're here to discuss X. I was lucky enough to get tickets for an early screening of the film here in the Netherlands, and I just watched it last night, Wednesday. It started at 10 p.m. and I just couldn't wait to let you guys know my thoughts on this film. This is probably one of the movies I was the most excited about for 2022, and honestly I'm extremely sick, and after I finish recording and editing this video I'm just gonna go on the blanket and disappear until next week. But I had to sit down and let you guys know, spoiler free as always, my thoughts on X. X is the newest A24 horror movie. This is an erotic horror movie slasher, and it is edited, produced and directed by T. West, who previously did things like The Sacrament that I really enjoyed. I just recently watched it. It had been on my watch list since forever, and I finally watched it before watching this one, so that I could get a little bit more of an idea on this director. That movie came out almost a decade ago, so everybody was really excited to see what T. West was gonna do next, and also this being an A24 horror movie, obviously I was extremely excited. The film stars Mia Goth, Jenna Ortega, Martin Henderson, Brittany Snow, among others, and the film had its world premiere at South by Southwest on March 13th. It is scheduled to be released in the United States in March 18 by A24, and it has been pretty well received by the critics. Of course, it has been particularly praised for bringing back the classic slasher movies, and X in a way is an homage, if you will, a love letter to filmmaking and those horror films. In 1971, a group of filmmakers are trying to make a different, a more kind of high standards adult film, decide to go to a rural town in Texas to make this film. The only problem is that, you know, the old couple they have rented a barn from, they don't know that they're planning to make an adult film, and when they find out, let's say that the old couple is not thrilled about it. We follow a gang of filmmakers that are really excited because they are hoping to change the adult film industry. They're hoping to make a movie that is a little bit more elevated, a little bit more with more high standards, so to say. So we have filmmaker RJ and his girlfriend Lorraine that is helping with the sound, and then we have Wayne, who I have to say, at the beginning I didn't know if I was gonna like the actor in this role because he's been in a lot of rom-coms, and I didn't know if he was gonna fit the part, but he really did surprise me. And he is one of these guys that is trying to change the industry, that is putting the money in producing this film. So he's there with his girlfriend Maxine. We have then Bobby Lynn, who is one of the, you know, main actresses in the film, and Jackson, who is the other, well, he's the only male actor for this adult film. It's 1979 and Wayne has booked a crew space on a farm outside Houston to shoot their movie The Farmer's Daughters, which he expects will be a hit on the emerging home video market. Wayne has chosen a location that looks a little bit kind of creepy. It is this kind of wore down farm in the middle of nowhere, and Howard is the guy that owns the place, and he has agreed to rent them this little space to, you know, stay for a couple of days, but he doesn't know that they're planning to do an adult movie. And like I said, he's not gonna be thrilled when they find out what they wanted to rent this space for. Howard also informs the filmmakers that they should stay away from the house and they should stay away from his wife Pearl because she's not feeling really well, and they should just, you know, mind their own business and not bother her at all. So obviously from the very beginning of this film you get Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibes, and it is just unavoidable. In a way, the characters of Howard and Pearl felt like a slight missed opportunity. I felt like they could have given them a lot more of background, a lot more of personality in order to give us more of a Leatherface villain in a way. I feel like they could have pushed it a little bit farther. This movie does feed from others, like, you know, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Psycho, The Shining. There's many references and things that are pointing out to these older horror films, especially the slasher ones. But even though we do see Texas Chainsaw Massacre a little bit written all over the place, it is kind of paying homage to it. It is not trying to be a cash grab like the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But anyways, what I wanted to say is that all the references to the old movies and all the things that play homage to Texas Chainsaw Massacre have been done in a way that I thought it was really tasteful, and it's not just a copy of the film. The atmosphere and the setting is pretty like historically accurate, like everything in the set, like from the hairstyles to Jackson's baby blue suit, like everything just breathes 1979, and there has not been many movies that have been able to bring back that grittiness, that sweaty swamp feeling that we had with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and this one does come really close. So definitely, if you love Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I feel like you're definitely gonna enjoy this film. Wes as a filmmaker, I felt like they did such a good job to take tropes from horror movies and flip them or reverse them. I cannot go into specifics here because it would be a spoiler, but he did some really cool things that I was really happy to see because it was something a little bit different, even though he does use some tropes here and there. But it is kind of playing homage to those old slasher films. The movie was also kind of a comedy in a way. It had really good timed jokes that were delivered with the perfect timing, and I really enjoyed the humor in this film. I feel like they did a good job to combine the humor with the horror. And another thing that I really loved about the script is that there are things that are said at the beginning of the film that I was wondering if it would have something to do with the future, with the demise of our characters, and it does. So there's a lot of things in the script that are pointing you to what's going to happen next to our filmmakers, and there's even some scenes that are already telling you things that are going to come later in the third act, which I thought it was really cool to see and to spot. Some of my favorite shots are these like wide, high above shots. There was specifically one on this lake that I thought was just fantastic, absolutely gorgeous. I'm not gonna tell you what it's about, but if you watch the movie, you will see it's such a nice wide shot. It was just a perfection. I really love T. West aesthetics when it comes to the photography and the editing, and the movie has a lot of style while also retaining a surprising amount of tension. I feel like maybe in the third act the pacing could have been a little bit tighter, but this is a really entertaining film that is going to satisfy horror fans. And just based on the mood and the visuals and the kills, I do recommend you guys to check it out. It does start fairly slow in a way because we really get our time to get to know the filmmakers and see their aspirations and what they want in life. And it's all building up for us to care about them when the third act comes and they start to get targeted. There's a lot of details even when it comes to the humor, because you see from the very beginning that our crew of filmmakers has this van that says plumbing service in it, and I thought that was really funny. And there's also a lot of jokes that have to do with the adult film industry that really landed pretty well. I did hear a lot of people laughing all the time, so they were effective. So the horror elements in the film are several ones, and they all combine really well, and they all support each other really well. To be fair, there's only like 2 or 3 jump scares, and they're really well integrated into the film. So they are kind of surprising in a way. They're not those overly done jump scares. We have a horror in the sense of the old couple that is really unsettling and disturbing and messed up. And then we have, of course, the horror of, you know, just the plain kills and the gore. So when it comes to the old couple, I felt like they did a really good job to slowly build up the tension and slowly make them more and more unsettling for the viewer. And also it's kind of portraying how everybody, like every human being, can become a monster. And then of course we have the gore, the kills, the blood, and they were really well executed. Some of them were surprising and fast, and others were slow, and you know, you get to enjoy them. I thought they were so well done, and I thought we got such a wide variety of kills, and also the practical effects were fantastic. I absolutely loved it. It is intense gore, so just putting it out there, you know, in case you don't like gore like that, just keep it in mind. This is not your typical slasher where you know, somebody gets stabbed and you don't see much but a little bit of blood coming out of the knife. It's not really the case here. We really go full on with the gore. So at the end of the day, I gave this movie a 4.5 out of 5. Needless to say, I really enjoyed it. I was hoping that I was gonna love it, and I did, so I'm really pleased that I was not disappointed. And what I can tell you about X is that it is such an entertaining film. The movie is just fun, and it's portraying that passion of those filmmakers. It doesn't matter what genre, but those filmmakers are trying to make a good movie without having many means, and I really appreciated that. I feel like this movie could be kind of like a combination between Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Relic. I feel like that's kind of the vibe that I got from the film. But I feel like if you love horror in general, you're really gonna love it. If you're a horror fan, I don't think this is a movie for people that just enjoy their casual horror movies, if that makes sense to you. This is a homage to slashers, but it has a deeper meaning at the end of the day. It can get bizarre at times and weird, and it's definitely not gonna be everybody's cup of tea. But I am all here for the weirdness, for the disturbing moments, and for films that dare to do something a little bit different. And what I take from this movie is that monsters are people too, which is something that we all know and I love to see explored in horror. So needless to say, I really enjoyed it, and I think I'm gonna go back and watch it again because my partner was really sick and he could not come. Now I'm sick too, so thanks to my partner for that. So we'll probably go back together once we're both cured. Anyway, you guys, I hope that you enjoyed this spoiler-free review. Let me know down below if you've had already the chance to check it out, if you're excited to check it out. Let's talk about it in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please give the video a big thumbs up, and I hope to see you all in our next coffee time. Bye!